Jamie here from PVA Rollers. This video we're going to show you how to replace the PVA rollers on your M400 units. As you can see here, they last a fair while. The only reason this one is off is because I took it off to size it off when we went to reverse engineer the new rollers for PVA rollers. On the back side you can see they pretty well wear down to nearly nothing, and then it just stops climbing the wall and moving around. So if you've got issues with your cleaner not getting to all the spots and not sticking around one spot, you might have a look at your rollers, chuck the new set on, you'll probably be alright. We'll start pulling her apart. So we're going to start off by pulling off these screws off on the side here so we can get access to the panel. So once we got those 4 screws out, the bottom side here is held on by some little plastic clips. So we're going to need a flathead screwdriver for this. You can see here, these tangs here, they just got to gently be pushed in while you sort of pull it up. So you can see there's 4 of them, and I accidentally on my first go had broken one of these tabs. So depending on your machine and how old it is, you're going to want to take a little bit of time to try not to break those tabs. If we still got 3, we're still going alright. Pop those off and pull this cover off. Now that we've got this cover off, you can see a couple loose parts that we just want to take care of so they don't blow away or get lost or anything. This little plastic cover, and these little foam inserts, which are important for the buoyancy of the machine, so make sure you put those back in. I'm going to pop them over somewhere a little bit safer. Now we're just going to gently roll off these tracks. As you can see, the machine is a little bit old. We do have some cracks in there. So we're going to want to be a little bit careful taking this off. Don't stress it out too hard. It is pretty gentle. Pop it off that idler. Pop it off that one. Now your track's off. Now we can start getting to the good stuff. So this next step, these can be a little bit tricky here, but you can see we've got this plastic insert which holds that roller on and prevents it from getting dropped out. So what we're going to do is just gently pry that up so that we can get access. Nice and slow. If you've got 2 screwdrivers, that would probably be better than this. Just trying to hold a camera at the same time, so we'll just go nice and slow. Once you got that little plug insert off, so as I was mentioning, once you get this out, there's 2 ways that it'll sort of pop out. One, being that plug gets pulled out, or the other way, the plug stays in, the actual shaft gets pulled out. As you can see, this other side here is fitted one of those plugs as well. So what's happened is the plug from the other side's just pulled out. That's not a problem because we've got to go and strip down the underside and just get to that other one. Or we'll see if we can just gently pop it out. So, as you can see, once that shaft's out, your rollers come out nice and easy. So we'll work at getting all the rollers out, and then we'll start going through how we pop them on. The first thing, I'm just going to tear these guys off. I'll let mine dry out so they're nice and brittle, so if you do let them dry out, they pop straight off. If you do need, use a razor blade or a knife. Just gently, try not to nick the tube itself. Now that the old foam rollers are off, chuck them in the bin, and we're just going to give them a little bit of a wash. We're going to be sliding these PVA rollers on to get this nice and wet, and your roller nice and wet. They should come pre-packaged wet, so you shouldn't have to worry about that, but we'll just clean these up, and then we'll show you gently sliding them on. So we're just going to the pool, giving that guy a good clean up, just to make sure we slide on pretty easily. As I've mentioned, these guys come wet packaged. It should be suggest washing your hands for this. It doesn't really matter, but the rollers do get discolored pretty easy. So if you got really janky hands, you will get discoloration. It doesn't really matter because the roller does wear away and it will get soaked in the pool, so it will gently fall off. So it's mainly aesthetic, but just clean your hands. That way you don't have any dirt ripping into the outside. And what we want to do is just gently roll this on. We don't want to force it. We want to go nice and slow because it is wet. We do have a bit of pliability, so make sure it is wet. If you are worried, dunk it in the pool. You can dunk it a little bit more. Then we're just gently going to roll that on. We're going to take our time. Just gently. What we don't want to be doing is damaging the inside of here with this plastic. So just very gently, very slowly. You may be able to take the rollers apart, but I fear that you will damage the rollers, the plastic on the rollers. So just ever so gently. See, we got it over that flange now, so we'll just work its way down just a little bit. It's looking like a roller pretty well fit. So I'm just going to jump off camera, do the other ones. I've already done two. So I'll just jump and do the other two. Then we'll get into putting it back together. So we've got all four of those rollers ready to go. I did manage to ding that. I think that might have happened when I rolled this over onto the table. So try to learn from my mistakes. Don't do that. shouldn't have too much of an effect. That's just the guide for the actual belt, and looks like there's plenty of meat left there, so I'm not too worried about it. So we'll start chucking it back together so we can get that pool cleaned. Alright, so we're going to start chucking it back together. Just going to pop this belt out of the way just for now so we can get to our rollers nice and easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that in there so that we can assemble it, drop it in, put that cover on, flip it over, just gently put the plugs back in. We're going to be careful again flipping it on the table for these tabs. They will get broken, as you can see here, and if they break right at that point, your whole machine's probably buggered, so let's not do that. Roll that belt back on. Again, being gentle because we'll probably have cracked belts here. Excellent. Those foam bits are there. That plastic cover. Note that there is a bit of a location feature there, if you can see it. This bit right here mates with that. So when you pop it in, just make sure it's nice. It'll have to be in place so that we can pop this guy back on. There we go. Now we can just pop those in there. Going to gently jiggle that down, and then we're going to look at these rotating tabs down here. Make sure that they're all in position, ready for the click. And also, what we're going to do is make sure that these plugs that retain that shaft, that they're fully bottomed out. I'll try to get you a better view of this guy. You can just see here, that plug's bottomed out on that shaft, so we're pretty happy with that side. The other side's got one plug still missing, but that shouldn't matter, so I'm going to gently pop this down. And then we're ready to pop these screws back in. Now these are stainless steel screws going into plastic, so don't over tighten them too much. Plastic will break. As I mentioned before, we're likely to crack those bottom tabs on that on the frame, so we're just going to be very careful just lifting it up and just flipping it over. So here we are, we've got our completed Dolphin M400 with new rollers from PVARollers.com. As you can see, all we need is a Phillips head screwdriver and a flat blade screwdriver to get the job done. So the only thing that's left, chuck it in the pool, make sure it works, make sure it's climbing those walls, make sure she's cleaning.